Hey there, so this is by request from Superfly Lee over at cupofcoffee.com. Thank you, Superfly, for this request and for your awesome support. And if you want to support this channel like Superfly does, you can buy me a cup of coffee over at cupofcoffee.com. Link is in the description box. It's Mission Souls performing Ozzy's Crazy Train. Here we go.
We'll be trying this song. We just learned this. Put that
what'd you think? That was pretty cool, wasn't it? Sure like to have been over there watching that. You know, one of the first things I think of when I see live is what's the environment they're in. And it's a little bit hard to tell. It's very open air, so the sound just kind of goes out everywhere. And secondly, you don't know how humid or hot it is. I don't see any fans blowing on them from any direction. These things can make a difference in your performance. I mean, everything from longevity of the performance, how much energy do you have at the end of the performance versus the beginning, to playability of your instruments. I mean, humidity affects them, especially guitars, but also percussion. So, I mean, I think of those things, and then I think of, well, how are they recording this? And it sounds ambient to me. It's like mics in the air. I noticed the camera angles, and I thought, well, that's cool. They got a few of those that were different than just sitting in front watching the band, which is good work. But when you get an ambient capture of a band, as we all know, it's very different sounding than it is like when they're in the studio and Dad processes everything through Pro Tools or Cakewalk or whatever he's using. So you take that into account first before you listen to everything, I look at all the setup. Once I take all that into account, then I can hear the band for who they are, and they're really showing us how talented they are here. So when Ice opens up with this crazy opening, I've always thought this was a bit nuts, and I just love it for what it is. Just straight up in your face rock and roll.
We'll be trying this song. Just learn this.
So, all of you drummers out there, tell me what's going on here. Probably nothing. It's me and my paranoia. But I noticed this about Ice's setup in every video. He's got this hi-hat right up underneath his control board. Would you do that? I mean, there's not a lot of throw on a hi-hat, I know, but would you do that? I don't know. Does it make a difference? It just seems kind of odd to me. But I'm not a drummer. So here we go.
We'll be trying this song. Just learn this.
So I didn't exactly hear what Stacy said there, but I thought she was saying, pretty much letting you know that this is a test drive of this song live. Ice is really working those drums back there, isn't he? Did you catch that? Nasus on the bass. Didn't even have to. She adjusted her lapel or whatever it was. Her in-ear monitor. And kept playing. So, you'll notice over here that Nisha is just about to hit her pedal board for this lead solo. want to talk about here. We're going to start about here. So I want you to hear the bass, and you're going to watch Nasus turn around and look at Ice. All right, you see this a lot when they play live, when bands play live. I've watched my bass player and drummers in various bands do this all the time. They are the rhythm section. They have to be on the same page. Sometimes when they feel like they're coming to a point, or maybe it's something that is a learned a response in practice, they look at each other, or one looks at the other. I don't know if Ice even looked at her, but here we go. Now you hear the bass. Nice thumping going on, right? Listen to the change. Right there. Did you hear the bass drop out? Run it one more time. So we've lost the bass, or at least we've lost most of the bass. Now, why do I point this out? Because it's a mistake? No, because stuff like this happens a lot live, and it just does. I mean, I've seen musicians. I was going to single one out, but I'm not going to do it. I've seen musicians that are world famous make huge mistakes on stage, but what's the difference between them and the garage band down the street? They make a mistake, they don't acknowledge it. They keep performing. And even though you can't hear Nasus anymore, and she knows it, and probably the rest of the band knows it too, they don't stop or look at each other or freak out. They just keep playing, and that's a professional response. As I said, the bass dropped out, but it doesn't mean it's totally gone. And I think I hear it back there, but there was a huge change in the volume or the punch of it. And I just wanted to point out that in spite of that, they kept on rolling. So tell me what you thought in the comments. Did you like this? I love this performance. Absolutely love it. I eat this stuff up. I eat this stuff for breakfast. Because it shows you the essence of a band. Oh, God, 5 years from now. Hope I'm around to see it. So, I hope you have a great rest of the week. I'm glad you were here to watch this with me, and I'll see you later. Bye now.